chosen one, anchor your spirit to my voice right now. Resist the urge to scroll away from this message. I know exactly what your nights have felt like lately, because the enemy always follows a predictable pattern when he attacks. You wake up at 3 a.m. with a heavy chest, and your heart races in the suffocating silence for a reason you cannot explain to anyone. You sit up in the dark. You look around the empty space. A strange pressure pushes down on your shoulders, and it feels like you are carrying the weight of the whole world. You try to pray. You try to find a moment of peace. But the atmosphere in your home feels incredibly strange this week, leaving you exhausted before the day even begins. You feel like a stranger in your own life. Conversations stop the moment you walk into a room. People pull away from you without giving any explanation, and you are left wondering if you did something completely wrong. They tell you that you are just too sensitive. They tell you to stop overthinking everything, but deep down in your spirit, you know they are wrong. You are not imagining this heavy atmosphere. You are not losing your mind in the middle of the night. What you are sensing in the dark is absolutely real, and I am here to confirm it to you today. That weight pressing on your chest is not a medical panic attack. It is a massive spiritual collision. The enemy has been working overtime against you. He targets you when you are most vulnerable. He attacks your sleep for one reason and one reason only, because he knows what shifts the moment you finally understand what is happening. The darkness is absolutely terrified of the moment you wake up spiritually. You did not find this message by accident today. The Holy Spirit guided you to this exact moment. In the next few minutes, I am going to reveal the exact reason the enemy chooses 3 a.m. to attack you. I will expose the lie that has been keeping you trapped in fear, so you can finally step into your true power. There is a specific reason you feel things so deeply. The world called it a flaw to make you hide it, but I will show you the exact spiritual ability they are trying to bury, and once you see it, their entire assignment against your life will collapse completely. You will stop feeling like a fragile victim. I will also give you the exact declaration that seals your victory. At the very end of this message, we will break that midnight pressure together. Do not click away from this video. Stay until the very last word, because your ultimate spiritual breakthrough is hiding right here in these next few minutes. The battle does not just stay in the night. The attacks at 3 a.m. leave you utterly drained when the sun finally comes up. You walk through your day feeling completely exhausted. You push through the hours. You smile brightly for your family and friends, but inside, you are barely holding your heavy spirit together. You have always been the one everyone else leans on. You are the person they come to with all their broken pieces. You listen. You give them your energy and your time. But when you are the one falling apart in the dark, the room is completely empty. Nobody is there to hold your heavy hands. Your whole life they have called you too intense. They said your emotions were just too much to handle. So you learned to make yourself smaller, dimming your own light to keep other people comfortable and secure. And now you sit in the dark, wondering why you feel so incredibly empty. Your shoulders are tight with an unseen tension. Your stomach drops whenever the sun begins to set. You actually start dreading the moment you have to go to sleep, because you know the midnight hour will bring that same suffocating presence. You are fighting a war while everyone else is safely dreaming. This cycle of exhaustion and fear has to end today. You cannot keep living on the edge of spiritual burnout. Heaven sees exactly how hard you have been fighting, and every silent tear you cried at 3 a.m. was carefully recorded. Your pain has caught the full attention of the divine realm. If you leave before the end, you leave before the verdict. You will walk away from the very thing heaven deposited in you. Lock your attention on my words. Let the noise of the world fade away completely, because we are about to uncover the ultimate mystery of your midnight battles. Your freedom is near. But let me reframe your entire reality right now. You have been looking at this midnight battle completely upside down. You thought the heavy pressure meant you were failing. You thought God had abandoned you in the dark. But that heavy isolation you have been calling a cruel punishment was never actually a punishment at all. It was always a divine preparation for your next season. The world tries to convince you that waking up heavy is a simple medical disorder. They want you to believe you are simply anxious. They want you to numb the uncomfortable feeling entirely. But heaven operates on a completely different system of logic, and what looks like a relentless attack is actually the undeniable evidence of your sacred selection. You are not a broken or defective person. God did not allow this midnight pressure to break your spirit. He allowed it to build your ultimate spiritual resilience. Think about the deep quietness of the midnight hour. The daytime is filled with endless noise and worldly distractions. God deliberately removed the loud crowd so he could finally speak to you without any earthly interference, drowning out his quiet voice. Your isolation in the dark is not evidence of your disqualification. It is the absolute proof of your holy consecration today. When a king prepares a soldier for a critical mission, he pulls him away from the regular troops. He isolates the chosen warrior for a very specific reason. The intensive training always happens away from ordinary people. You are currently undergoing this exact same training. The enemy wants you to focus entirely on the exhaustion. He wants you to complain about the lack of sleep. He hopes you will beg for the heavy pressure to stop. Because if you stay focused on the physical pain, you will never realize the massive spiritual threat you pose to his dark kingdom. The darkness does not waste premium attacks on ordinary people. He never targets empty vessels that hold absolutely no value. A thief only breaks into a house that holds incredible treasure. The sheer intensity of the warfare against your mind is the exact proof of the magnitude of your divine calling. If you were not carrying something dangerous to the darkness, you would be sleeping completely undisturbed, just like everyone else. You must stop viewing yourself as a helpless midnight victim. You are a chosen vessel undergoing a rigorous forging process. A sharp sword is never made truly strong by resting gently on a soft cushion inside a quiet room. It is thrust violently into the blazing hot fire. It is struck repeatedly until the raw metal becomes completely unbreakable. That heavy pressure on your chest at 3 a.m. is the hammer. The suffocating silence of your bedroom is the hot forge. You are not being slowly destroyed by the dark spiritual atmosphere. You are being carefully molded into a frequency master who can effortlessly shift the spiritual climate of any room you enter. This is your intense and necessary preparation phase. You have survived things that would have shattered an ordinary mind. You endured bitter betrayals that should have completely broken your heart. You did not just survive those painful seasons by pure luck. Every single tear you shed was actively developing your inner muscles, preparing you for the massive assignment that is waiting for you now. Do not secretly resent the quietness of the midnight hour. Do not fear the sudden weight that presses down on you. It is a sacred invitation from the divine realm. The Creator is deliberately waking you up, pulling you away from the noisy matrix so he can download divine strategies directly into your open spirit. You are being upgraded in the silence. Most people live their entire lives on a very shallow surface. They sleep deeply because they have absolutely nothing to protect. They never face the terrifying pressure of the deep, dark waters. But you were born with a spirit that naturally dives into the profound depths, and that is exactly why the shallow world has always misunderstood your intense nature. The people who pulled away from you recently were not rejecting you. They were simply vibrating at a much lower frequency. They sensed the massive shift happening inside your awakened spirit. They felt the heavy consecration on your life, and they quietly retreated because their ordinary comfort could not exist in the same space as your calling. You must completely release the urgent need to be understood. Let them walk away without offering any desperate apologies. Their sudden departure is not a tragic or painful loss. It is a holy redirection, making room for the divine connections that are meant to support your new identity. You are shedding the old skin of a victim today. Before you go any further, gently press the like button so this blessing can reach another chosen one who is fighting battles in the dark tonight. But here is where the narrative of your journey delves far deeper than most are willing to perceive. Look closely at every major spiritual figure throughout ancient history. They never received their greatest revelations while standing in the middle of a noisy crowd. The profound shifts always happened when they were completely isolated in the heavy darkness. Think about Jacob wrestling with the divine presence. That monumental struggle did not happen at noon when everyone was watching. It happened in the dead of night when he was entirely alone. He fought in the heavy darkness, and his identity was forever changed before the sun finally came up. Your midnight struggles follow this exact same ancient pattern. Look at Moses walking quietly in the lonely desert. He had to be stripped of his royal status and pushed into total isolation. God cleared the room completely, so he could finally speak from the burning bush. The divine voice required a silent atmosphere. If Moses was surrounded by the noisy Egyptian court, he never would have heard the quiet call of his destiny. This is the divine strategy of the wilderness. The 3 a.m. hour is not a random time for your brain to suddenly malfunction. It is the specific hour when the veil between the physical and spiritual worlds is at its absolute thinnest. The noisy distractions of the daytime matrix are completely shut down. The atmosphere is finally clear enough for the spirit to communicate. God is actively clearing the room of your life right now. He allows the uncomfortable isolation because your spirit is too distracted during the busy day. When the house is silent and the world is asleep, your spiritual radar is highly receptive. The enemy attacks you then because he wants to scramble the divine frequency before you can receive the message. You are locked in a very real spiritual conflict. The battles of the darkness are fought over the territory of your awakened mind. The enemy tries to fill the quiet room with heavy pressure and racing thoughts. He creates a counterfeit noise to block the gentle whisper of the Creator. He desperately wants you to misinterpret the profound silence as total abandonment. But you must recognize the profound truth of this crucible. You are raw metal being placed directly into the intense fire. The heat of this isolation is burning away every false attachment you ever held. You are losing the desperate need for human validation. The darkness is simply the anvil, where your new spiritual identity is being hammered into shape. The darkness tries to intimidate you with its massive size. But shadows only exist because a powerful light is shining somewhere nearby. The heavy atmosphere in your room is just the shadow of the massive angelic presence gathering around you. The enemy brings a heavy weight to distract you from the divine protection that is currently standing guard over your sleeping home. Your midnight battle is a sacred initiation process. You are joining the ancient lineage of chosen ones who had to wrestle in the dark before they could walk in the light. They all felt the exact same heavy pressure you feel right now. They all wondered if they were losing their minds. But they pushed through the night, and they emerged carrying massive spiritual authority. You do not have to fight the heavy pressure anymore. Instead of praying for the weight to simply go away, you must start listening to what the silence is trying to teach you. The Creator is inviting you into a high-level boardroom meeting. You have exclusive access to the divine strategies that will completely alter the trajectory of your entire bloodline. And that is the exact reason this heavy season happened. Your 3 a.m. battles were not designed to break you. They were carefully orchestrated to prepare you for the massive assignment ahead. That is the first promise I made to you at the beginning of this message. The midnight pressure is not a medical curse. It is your ultimate spiritual activation. But there is something underneath this reality that goes far deeper, and once that profound truth clicks into place, you are ready for the next crucial layer. A deeper root exists that will keep operating beneath every season if you fail to see it. Coming up in just a moment, I will expose this hidden secret. But first, let this powerful truth settle in your spirit. Here is that deeper root I promised to expose. The thing quietly blocking you is not just the enemy attacking your sleep. It is something inside you that you have completely misunderstood for your entire life. You have always been told that you are just too sensitive. They made you believe your deep feelings were a heavy curse. You absorbed their careless words and started hating your own nature. You tried to build thick walls around your heart to block out the overwhelming noise, but those walls never worked during the 3 a.m. hour. The heavy pressure always found a way to slip right past your defenses, and you felt completely helpless in the heavy dark. It is time to shatter that false narrative permanently. That overwhelming sensitivity you have been desperately trying to hide is not a psychological flaw. It is actually a highly sophisticated spiritual radar. You were intentionally designed to feel energy that ordinary people cannot even perceive. You are a natural discerner of unseen frequencies. When you wake up in the middle of the night, your brain is not malfunctioning. Your spiritual radar is simply turning on when the daytime static finally clears. That sudden weight on your chest is your spirit detecting a massive shift in the atmosphere. You are picking up on the invisible currents of the divine realm. It is a feature, not a bug. What you carry inside you is not a gaping wound, it is a massive weapon against the kingdom of darkness. The exact depth that made you feel like you were too much is your greatest strength. It gives your spoken words the incredible weight to shift the spiritual climate of any room. You were built to operate on a completely different frequency. The enemy knows exactly how powerful your radar really is. He is terrified that you will finally learn how to use it properly. If you figure out how to read the spiritual atmosphere, his sneak attacks will become completely useless. He will lose his element of dark surprise forever. So, he resorts to a very desperate distraction tactic against you. He floods your bedroom with a heavy and suffocating presence. He creates a massive cloud of spiritual static right over your bed. He wants your highly sensitive radar to become completely overwhelmed by the negative pressure. If you are focused on the terrifying weight on your chest, you will never point your radar toward the divine truth. He uses your own beautiful gift against you. He turns your deep empathy into a source of suffocating anxiety. And for a very long time, his cruel trick actually worked perfectly. You laid in the dark, feeling like a fragile victim of your own mind. You begged heaven to take the overwhelming sensitivity away so you could just sleep like normal people. But heaven refused to answer that specific prayer. The Creator will never remove the very weapon he forged for your ultimate victory. He will not downgrade your spiritual hardware just because the enemy is trying to jam the signal. Instead, he is waiting for you to realize that you hold the control switch to this massive power inside your spirit. You have to stop asking God to fix a broken mind. You must start asking him to train a gifted warrior. When that midnight weight hits your chest tonight, do not shrink back in fear. Recognize it as your spiritual radar picking up an active signal. The darkness is vibrating around you because it senses the massive threat of your divine awakening. This changes everything about how you fight back. You are no longer a blind target sitting alone in the heavy darkness. You are a divine watchman equipped with the most sensitive detection system on Earth. Your ability to feel things deeply is the exact mantle you were born to carry. It is time to stop apologizing for how deeply you experience the world. And once that truth clicks into place, you are ready for the next layer. There is a deeper reason for your daytime exhaustion. The enemy has a very specific secondary strategy when the sun comes up. Coming up, I will expose this dark secret completely. But first, let the truth of your powerful spiritual radar settle deep in your awakened spirit. You are not the misunderstood victim of a harsh world anymore. You are the chosen one who senses the invisible battles taking place all around us. The world desperately needs people who can feel the sudden shifts in the atmosphere. Your spiritual radar is actively protecting you and guiding you toward your ultimate divine purpose. Here is that deeper reason for your daytime exhaustion. The enemy knows he cannot destroy your radar. He knows your spirit is awake. So he changes his tactical approach completely. He uses the heavy midnight pressure to drain your physical energy, leaving you utterly exhausted before the sun even comes up. You start your morning already feeling defeated. Why does he spend so much dark energy on you? The answer to this question changes your reality. The kingdom of darkness operates on a very strict economy of force. The enemy never wastes his premium attacks on ordinary people who pose absolutely no threat to his dark plans. He leaves the sleeping world completely alone to enjoy their shallow dreams. Think about how a real war is fought on Earth. A commanding general does not send his best assassins after a simple foot soldier. He reserves his heavy artillery for the high-value targets. He attacks the specific leaders who carry the power to liberate entire territories. You are one of those massive spiritual targets in this unseen cosmic war. The sheer intensity of your daily warfare is not an accident. It is the exact proof of the magnitude of your divine calling. You looked at the relentless attacks and assumed you were somehow failing God. But the fierce spiritual resistance actually proves you are walking exactly in the right direction. You are dangerously powerful in the spirit. Look closely at the timeline of your own life. Every single time you were about to step into a new season, the attacks multiplied. The shadows always gather right before a massive dawn. The enemy tries to create a massive storm of chaos to make you abandon your post right before the ultimate victory arrives. He relies on your temporary fatigue. He attacks your daily peace relentlessly. He stirs up strange arguments with the people you deeply love. He makes your physical body feel heavy and completely drained of life. He wants you so focused on merely surviving the daytime hours that you completely forget about your royal spiritual assignment. It is a desperate and calculated distraction. He wants you staring down at the heavy waves. He hopes the constant pressure will make you surrender your unique calling. But his dark strategy is actually a massive miscalculation today. He thought the heavy midnight pressure would completely crush your fragile spirit into dust. Instead, it is actively forging you into an unbreakable weapon of light. Every single attack against your life is backfiring right now. The extreme exhaustion is teaching you how to rely on supernatural strength. The heavy isolation is forcing you to tune out the worldly noise and hear the voice of the Creator with absolute clarity. The darkness is accidentally training a master to dismantle its own deceptive kingdom. You must stop giving the enemy so much credit for your daily pain. He is not an all-powerful force controlling your entire destiny. He is a desperate and defeated foe trying to intimidate a rising warrior. He makes loud noises in the dark because he has absolutely no real authority over your awakened soul. His only weapon is an elaborate illusion. When the heavy attacks come tonight, you must change your perspective completely. Do not cry out in bitter defeat. Do not beg the shadows to leave you alone anymore. You must smile confidently in the dark because the enemy just confirmed your massive value to the kingdom of heaven. You are a massive threat to everything he has built on earth. You carry a specific light that exposes his hidden traps. Your deep sensitivity allows you to navigate the spiritual realms with incredible precision. The enemy attacks you fiercely because you are one of the few chosen ones who can actually lead other captives out of his dark matrix. You are a designated cycle breaker for your entire bloodline, and this brings us to something most people miss entirely. The enemy is not the only force actively shifting the atmosphere around you. Your own internal frequency is changing rapidly right now. As you step into your true spiritual power, your unique signature alters the physical world in ways you cannot easily see with your natural human eyes. Coming up in just a moment, I will reveal how your new frequency is affecting the people around you. I will explain why certain relationships had to end suddenly. But first, let this profound truth about your immense spiritual value settle deep in your bones. You are incredibly dangerous to the dark, and your victory is already secured today. Here is the truth about how your new frequency is shifting everything around you. Your spiritual radar is no longer just receiving signals from the dark. It is actively transmitting a massive wave of light into your environment. And this new transmission is exactly why your external reality feels so incredibly turbulent and unstable right now. You have been wondering why you suddenly feel so isolated during the day. It is not just the midnight pressure anymore. The daytime feels equally strange and disconnected. People you have known for years are acting distant. Certain conversations feel hollow and completely draining. You feel like a stranger walking through your own daily routine. You thought you did something wrong to push them away. You assumed your sensitivity finally became too much for them to handle. But let me reframe this painful isolation completely. This is not a rejection based on your flaws. It is an automatic process of frequency calibration. Your internal vibration is rising far beyond their comfortable level. When a radio station changes its broadcasting frequency, the old receivers can no longer pick up the clear signal. They only hear frustrating static. The people pulling away from you are acting exactly like those old receivers today. They are not intentionally being cruel to you. They simply cannot tune into the new spiritual frequency you are carrying. They sense the heavy consecration resting on your life. They feel the intense heat of the spiritual fire you have been walking through in the dark. And their ordinary, comfortable spirits cannot exist peacefully in the same room as your intense calling. Your presence naturally challenges their shallow existence without you ever saying a single word. The sudden isolation you are experiencing is actually divine protection. God is actively separating you from the relationships that would only drain your essential energy. He is cutting the invisible cords that tied you to lower frequencies. If you stayed connected to those old familiar circles, their heavy doubts would eventually anchor your soaring spirit down. You must stop grieving the relationships that were meant to expire. Do not chase after the people who are quietly walking away. Their sudden departure is creating the necessary empty space for your new identity to expand fully. You cannot carry the massive weight of your divine assignment while simultaneously trying to hold on to your comfortable past. The 3 a.m. awakenings are a critical part of this frequency shift. The midnight hour is when your spirit receives its deepest recalibration. The pressure on your chest is not an attack in those moments. It is the heavy sensation of your spiritual DNA being actively upgraded. You are being rewired to carry a much higher voltage of divine power. Think of it like a computer downloading a massive operating system update. The screen often goes dark. The normal functions are temporarily suspended. The entire system feels heavy and unresponsive while the new code is being installed. Your body feels the exact same heavy exhaustion because your spirit is processing a massive download from heaven. You are transitioning from a simple receiver into a powerful transmitter. The heavy pressure is stretching your spiritual capacity so you can hold the immense light that is coming. The darkness tries to interfere with the download, but the Creator is personally overseeing the installation. The midnight pressure is the undeniable feeling of your expansion. Stop fighting the necessary recalibration process tonight. When you wake up heavily in the dark, do not immediately panic. Do not rush to fill the quiet room with anxious prayers for relief. You must learn to sit patiently in the heavy silence. You must surrender to the divine upgrade that is actively rewriting the code of your spiritual destiny. Your isolation is the sacred cocoon where this transformation happens. You cannot become an eagle while surrounded by a flock of ordinary pigeons. You have to climb to the lonely heights where the air is incredibly thin. The painful separation you feel today is the exact proof that you are ascending to the mountain peak of your true calling. But here is where the journey requires complete honesty. While the enemy attacks from the outside and the frequency shifts from the inside, there is still one major obstacle left. Coming up, we must confront the hidden block that is quietly sabotaging your breakthrough. But first, let the truth of your divine protection settle deeply in your soul. Let us look deeper at the exact nature of this powerful transformation today. You have to understand how truly incredible things are actually made. The most valuable objects in the world are never created in a gentle and safe environment. They are always forged in absolute extremes. And right now, your exhausted soul is currently resting inside the most intense crucible that heaven has ever designed for a human being. Think about raw gold resting deep in the dark earth. It holds massive potential for the future, but it is covered in dirt and useless rock. To become completely pure, it must be thrown into a terrifying fire while the heat burns away everything that is not supposed to be there. The midnight pressure is your burning crucible today. The fire feels incredibly painful when you are sitting quietly in the flames. You honestly think you are losing your mind in the dark. You feel like everything familiar is being completely stripped away without any mercy. But the Creator is sitting right beside the fire. He is carefully watching the temperature to ensure it never destroys your actual core. Now think about the heavy hammer striking a glowing sword. The metal is pulled from the hot fire and placed directly on the dark anvil. The heavy blows ring out loudly in the silent room. Every time you wake up at 3 a.m. with that crushing weight, you are feeling the strike of the hammer as you are shaped into a divine weapon. An ordinary piece of metal would shatter under that kind of pressure. A normal mind would completely break apart. But you are made of celestial material. The enemy strikes you hoping you will finally crack, but every single blow only makes your spirit much harder and far more resilient. You are absorbing the violent impact and turning it into raw power. There is another powerful metaphor you must completely understand today. Think of the majestic eagle going through the painful molting phase. When an eagle becomes older, its feathers become heavy and covered in thick dirt. Its sharp beak becomes incredibly dull, so it climbs to a dark and lonely cave to undergo a violent transformation away from the noisy world. In the cold darkness of the lonely cave, the eagle plucks out its own heavy feathers. It smashes its old beak against the hard rocks until it breaks off completely. It looks absolutely broken and utterly defeated to anyone watching. But the eagle is not dying in that dark cave because it is violently shedding the old version of itself in order to survive. You have not been aging rapidly these past few months. You have been molting. The extreme exhaustion and the heavy isolation are just the cold walls of your dark cave. You are shedding the heavy feathers of your past trauma, and you are breaking off the dull beak of people-pleasing and false humility. You look vulnerable right now, but a new power is actively growing. When the painful molting process is finally complete, the eagle emerges with fresh feathers. It flies higher and faster than it ever could before the darkness. You are about to step out of this heavy midnight season with a completely renewed spirit. The darkness that tried to bury you was actually the rich soil where your deepest roots were being violently stretched. Finally, remember how an old photograph was always developed. The careful photographer takes the delicate film into a completely dark room. If any sudden light hits the film prematurely, the entire beautiful picture is ruined forever. The image requires absolute darkness to reveal its true depth, and your sensitive spirit operates in the exact same mysterious way. The beautiful picture of your destiny is currently developing in the dark room of your midnight battles. God keeps the lights off because your new identity is still highly sensitive. He allows the heavy shadows to surround you so the vibrant colors of your calling can fully set. The darkness is not your enemy right now, but rather it is your sacred darkroom. Every single metaphor points to the exact same powerful truth. The fire, the hammer, the cave, and the dark room are all sacred spaces of massive transition. You are not stuck in a permanent state of suffering. You are simply passing through the violent birth canal of your divine purpose, and the coming morning will finally reveal your ultimate masterpiece to the world. And here is the part no one wants to say out loud. I say this with nothing but absolute love for your spirit. We have talked extensively about the enemy attacking your sleep, and we have discussed the heavy shifts in your divine frequency. But there is another hidden layer we must face today. The thing quietly blocking your ultimate breakthrough is not just the dark forces outside. It is something deep inside you that you have mistaken for humble wisdom. You have been quietly afraid of your own massive power. You felt the immense weight of your divine assignment, and it terrified your human mind completely. So, you subconsciously started dimming your own brilliant light. You made yourself smaller to avoid the massive responsibility heaven placed on your shoulders. Please hear me very clearly right now. This is absolutely not a harsh accusation against your exhausted soul. It is the precise spiritual diagnosis that will finally set you free from this endless cycle. For years, you watched people pull away when you showed your true depth. So you learned to hide your gift, to survive in a shallow world. You brought that exact same survival tactic into your midnight battles. When the heavy pressure hits your chest at 3 a.m., you instinctively shrink back. You yield to the dark shadows because fighting feels entirely too exhausting. You silently agree with the heavy atmosphere instead of commanding it to leave your room because you just want the terrifying pressure to stop. You thought shrinking back was a sign of holy humility. You believed God wanted you to be quiet and passive in the dark. But false humility is actually a deceptive poison to a chosen one. Downplaying your spiritual authority does not glorify the Creator at all. It only gives the enemy a free pass to dominate your sacred space, and you actively bury your greatest weapon just to avoid a confrontation. Deep down, you are not really afraid of failing. You are actually terrified of what happens if you fully succeed. If you completely embrace your spiritual radar, your entire life will change forever. You will lose the comfortable shadows you have hidden inside for so many years. You will have to stand boldly in the light. That massive exposure is incredibly intimidating to your human mind. The enemy uses this hidden fear as an open door. He brings the heavy pressure because he knows you will eventually fold. He relies on your internal agreement with smallness to keep you totally paralyzed. Every time you apologize for feeling things deeply, you sign a quiet contract with the darkness. You give away your divine authority without putting up a real fight. You cannot afford to play small anymore. The world is getting darker, and heaven desperately needs you to stand up tall. Your family needs the exact frequency you are currently trying to suppress. Your bloodline requires you to break this endless cycle of passive victimhood before it passes to the next generation. You must stop waiting for a rescue mission when you were born to be the powerful rescuer. It is time to break your secret alliance with the dark. You must consciously stop apologizing for the intense weight of your calling. When the silence gets heavy tonight, you cannot hide under the covers and pray for a quick escape. You must step fully into the frightening reality of your massive strength. The shadows only have the exact power you willingly surrender to them, so you must take your stolen power back right now. The heavy mantle you carry was never a mistake. The Creator knew exactly what he was doing when he placed this intense sensitivity inside your heart. He knew you would struggle with the incredible weight at first, but he also knew you possessed the raw spiritual DNA to eventually master it completely. You are the only one who still doubts your ultimate readiness for this massive cosmic assignment. Today is the day you finally rip up the old contract. You are no longer the frightened child hiding from the monsters in the dark. You are the fully integrated warrior who makes the monsters tremble in absolute fear. Your days of running away from your own shadow are officially over. The universe is waiting for you to simply claim the space you already own, and the darkness knows its time is finally up. This realization is the exact turning point of your entire journey. Once you stop fearing your own immense capability, the midnight pressure instantly loses its suffocating grip on your chest. You shift from defense to absolute offense in the spirit realm. And now comes the pivotal moment where everything officially changes forever. You are absolutely ready to speak your ultimate victory. And here it is. This is the exact declaration I promised you at the very start of this message. We are finally going to break that heavy midnight cycle together. You are not going into the dark tonight as a frightened victim anymore. You are walking into your bedroom as a fully activated warrior of light. The atmosphere is about to shift permanently. I want you to prepare yourself right now. Tonight, before you lay your head on the pillow, you must take a physical action. Do not just listen to these words passively. You need to speak them out loud into the quiet atmosphere of your home. Your physical voice carries the exact frequency needed to completely shatter the heavy spiritual pressure. Place your hand firmly over your heart. Feel the strong rhythm beating inside your chest. That heartbeat is the undeniable rhythm of a survivor who refused to break under massive pressure. Take a very deep breath. Let the air fill your lungs completely. Now speak these powerful words with absolute conviction and let the darkness hear your decree. Declare this with me right now. I release every single agreement I ever made with smallness. I release the deep fear of my own massive potential. I completely renounce the lie that my sensitivity is a heavy burden or a psychological flaw. From this moment forward, I fully accept the incredible weight of my divine calling without any more apologies. My isolation was never a cruel punishment. My lonely seasons were a sacred preparation. I am not the misunderstood outcast of a shallow world. I am the chosen vessel designated for a massive cosmic assignment. I carry a profound spiritual radar, and I will never again dim my brilliant light just to keep the people around me comfortable and secure. I take back absolute control of my nights. The 3 a.m. hour no longer belongs to the enemy. It is my sacred time of divine download and holy calibration. The heavy pressure is not allowed to stay in my room anymore. I command every dark shadow to immediately leave my home, because this physical space belongs entirely to the kingdom of heaven. My bedroom is a fortress of total peace. The suffocating weight must completely dissolve right now. My spiritual radar is fully activated, and it is firmly pointed toward the divine truth. The enemy has absolutely no legal right to torment my mind while I sleep. I draw a bold line in the spirit, and the darkness cannot cross it ever again. I step fully into my new identity today. I am no longer standing between two different worlds. I am a fully integrated warrior carrying a highly dangerous frequency. The old version of me dissolved in the heavy fire. The new version of me is completely unbreakable, and I walk forward knowing I am exactly where I am supposed to be in this moment. My breakthrough is not slowly coming in the distant future. It is already here. It is actively moving through my veins right now. The heavy cycle of midnight exhaustion is officially broken. The dark spiritual attacks against my mind are completely neutralized by the light I carry. My destiny is sealed, and my victory is completely guaranteed. Take another deep breath and let those powerful words settle. You just issued a binding legal decree in the spirit realm. The atmosphere in your home has already started changing. The angels assigned to your life just received their marching orders from your own mouth. You finally stopped asking for a rescue and started commanding your own space. The enemy heard every single word you just spoke. He knows his cheap intimidation tactics will never work on you again. You exposed his elaborate illusion. You turned his heavy pressure into the exact catalyst for your ultimate awakening. The darkness tried to bury you in the night, but it accidentally planted a massive seed of unshakable power. You are going to sleep differently tonight. When you lay down, you will feel a profound shield of protection surrounding your bed. If you wake up at 3 a.m., you will not feel panic. You will simply smile in the dark. You will recognize the quiet hour as your throne room, and you will rest peacefully knowing the battle is already won completely. The season of your painful preparation is finally complete. You can take a deep breath and let the heavy tension leave your shoulders completely. The dark night of your soul is officially over, and the bright morning is finally breaking through the shadows. The suffocating weight you carried for so long has completely lifted. You are stepping into a profound season of unshakable peace. You are going to notice a massive difference in your physical body tomorrow. The exhausting fatigue that usually follows you through the day will be completely gone. Your mind will feel incredibly clear and sharp. When you walk into a room, you will no longer absorb the heavy anxiety of the people around you. You will carry a powerful frequency of calm assurance wherever you go. You are not the exact same person who started watching this message. The fragile version of you was left behind in the heavy fire of the midnight hour. You have emerged as a highly sensitive but completely unbreakable warrior of light. The enemy knows he has lost his deceptive grip on your mind. He will have to pack up his cheap illusions and leave your territory forever. There is a beautiful ease coming to your life right now. You will stop striving so hard to explain your deep nature to shallow people. You will find incredible comfort in your own quiet presence. The right connections are actively moving toward you because your new frequency is acting like a powerful magnet. Heaven is aligning the exact right people to support your next massive steps. The darkness is no longer a place of terrifying isolation for you. It has become your private sanctuary of divine rest. If your eyes open at 3 a.m. again, you will not feel a single drop of panic. You will simply feel a warm blanket of angelic protection wrapped tightly around your bed. You will smile softly in the dark and drift right back into a deep and healing sleep. There are so many other chosen ones fighting this exact same heavy battle tonight. They are sitting in the dark right now, thinking they are completely losing their minds. They feel the crushing weight on their chests, and they are desperately begging for a simple explanation. You have the power to hand them the exact key that just unlocked your own spiritual prison today. Share this message with someone who has also been called too sensitive their entire life. Send this to the person you know who always carries the heavy burdens of everyone else. They need to hear that their exhaustion is not a sign of weakness. They desperately need to know that their painful isolation is actually a sacred preparation for a massive cosmic assignment. You must stay connected to the truth of your divine calling. The daytime matrix will always try to pull you back into a shallow frequency. Subscribe to this channel and turn on all your notifications right now. You will never miss the next vital revelation about who you really are. We are building a powerful community of awakened spirits who refuse to dim their brilliant light. Drop a comment below if your spirit feels completely lighter right now. Type the word free in the comments if you have officially taken back your midnight hour. Your simple declaration in the comments becomes a powerful digital monument of your victory. When other tired souls read your confident words, they will borrow your strength until they can find their own solid footing. You have fought an incredibly hard battle in the unseen realm, but you do not have to fight the heavy shadows anymore. The Creator is immensely proud of the resilience you showed in the dark. He watched you stumble and fall, but he also watched you refuse to stay down. You have passed the ultimate test of the wilderness, and your promised land is finally opening up before you. Let a deep and healing peace wash over your tired mind right now. Forgive yourself for all the times you doubted your own massive strength. Release the heavy guilt of thinking you were somehow failing God during your darkest nights. You were always held securely in the palm of His hand. Even when the room felt entirely empty, you were surrounded by a massive army of light. Your spiritual assignment officially starts today. Walk forward with your head held high and your heart completely open. The world is waiting for the exact frequency you are carrying. Rest well tonight, chosen one. The heavy morning weeping is officially over, and your season of brilliant joy has finally arrived. You are safe, you are loved, and you are incredibly powerful.